have a couple of what I believe are really good opportunities, at least from my perspective as a newbie at this. Deals that can generate, anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 in profit in a relatively short time frame. I clearly, one of the things that I've learned over the last day or so is that people are very willing to convey much more information. Like, you use a couple of keywords with them and they just like unload information on you, probably without really thinking about it, like about their health, about their desire to move the property. They don't want to have to pay the next property tax payment, or they've inherited it and it's more of a burden for them. So it's really interesting to deal with people and the whole psychology associated with it, and how you can use a couple of keywords or phrases to get them to open up and communicate information that to me just translates into dollars. I guess as an investor, it doesn't get any better than that. So that part I like. It's been good. It's been eye-opening. Prior to coming here and taking more of a wholesale approach, I've done primarily what I would call retail, where I buy through a realtor. It's usually a single-family residence. They're typically REOs, could be some short sales. I do the rehabbing, which is a pain in the butt dealing with the contractors. This is a very different strategy. I like wholesaling for lots of reasons, not the least of which is cash flow is typically generated much quicker. And yes, while the spreads may be lower, you have none of the headaches and none of the risks associated with being a retail investor, i.e. dealing with contractors, having the estimates not, pan out, and having to pay the contractors a lot more than what they quoted you. Having to worry about then reselling the property 3 or 4 months down the road, maybe 6 months down the road, when the market may have changed. That's a big part of it in this environment, is the market could change before you're ready to sell that property. So there's a lot of things I like about the wholesale business, and for me personally, this is what I'm going to dedicate at least the next quarter to. I've done enough of the retail stuff. I've got a lot of money tied up right now. Now my goal is to generate, $30,000 a month minimum in cash flow, and the only way I'm going to get there is taking this approach. So I like it. So far I've learned an awful lot, and we still have at least a day to go, and I'm confident I'll get all my questions answered by the time I get on that plane tomorrow, so it's good. I guess a couple of my takeaways, and again, I'm here in Florida, and I haven't spent much time in Florida prior to this, but I think the opportunity is enormous. It's probably even better than I thought it was. There is a lot of availability, which to me then translates into negotiating leverage on price and on terms. So that is clearly one of the takeaways. One of the other takeaways is that there is a process that you have to follow, just like anything else, to be successful. And it's very fluid. It moves very, very quickly. Case in point, Todd turned me on to some different websites and put my name out there as a point of contact, and my phone literally has been ringing off the hook. Literally ringing off the hook since that happened. So you kind of get like thrown right in the pool, sink or swim time. And personally, I like that. I like that action, that activity. I like doing deals. And when you're in the retail space, deals are fewer and further between. These are kind of like every day there's deals. And that's real. I like to have a frenetic pace. And so it suits me really, really well. My personality, so it's good. Yeah, there's definitely a process, and process is good. I love Naples. It's a wonderful place. I think a lot of speculation has gone on there. I think a lot of people are upside down. and I think we're going to find quite a few opportunities, and I'm really excited because based on what I've seen here in Sarasota and Bradenton, I would have to imagine that the opportunity is at least as good in Naples, because my belief is that there's been a lot more and a lot faster growth in Naples, largely driven by investors during the bubble years, and I just think that there's going to be a lot more vacant properties, a lot more people upside down, a lot more bank-owned properties, and I'm excited to go down there. I know it's a beautiful area. I know the weather is perfect, and I know that there was a lot of speculation, so it should be some great opportunity. And the gentleman and his wife, you know, late 80s, early 90s, the wife passed away. The gentleman really has no interest in keeping the property. He's probably going to move back to the Cleveland area to live with his son. I did speak with the son earlier. It sounds like a spectacular property, an absolutely beautiful property. I can't wait to see it. I kind of know where the area is, and you know, his wife is gone, his partner's gone. He has no interest in retaining the property, and unfortunately he's trying to sell it at a difficult time, and he certainly doesn't need the money, so he's not going to squabble over a few $1,000s. And we believe that the last deal that fell through was for about $125,000, and right now we know they're willing to take 80, and we believe that they probably will be willing to take less than that, and so it could be a steal for us. And based on what I do know about the property, without having seen it yet, I think there's going to be a great upside potential in it. Yeah, that's an interesting deal. I do have some familiarity with Indianapolis. I currently own 2 rental properties there. Indianapolis, it's in Marion County, so Indianapolis is a great city. Marion County is a great county vis-a-vis other cities and counties throughout the United States, because there's actually been a lot less depreciation of property. Prices have remained relatively stable. There's actually companies, industry moving into the city versus moving out of the city. So it's sort of a phenomenon in regards to activity in that area. Great location, centrally located, great airport, great infrastructure, highly educated workforce. So lots of good things about that area. And, you know, we found a deal, you know, Todd really found the deal with a very motivated seller. Sounds like he bought it as an investment, and then since then there's been a lot of change in his life, a lot of it positive. I believe he's getting married, and he needs the money for the wedding and beyond that, and highly motivated to sell. We believe that we can get it for a really, really good price, because we know what the rentals are like there through our own experience. We know what we think it's worth, and there's quite a variance between what we think the value of the property is versus what he's willing to sell it for. And it could be something that's a buy and hold. It could be another property that we buy it and flip it. There's a lot of flexibility, I think, in terms of what we do with this property. Any way you slice it, we're going to make money on it, because the buy price and the value are substantially different, and there's no emotional attachment to the property. The guy needs the cash. He's got good reasons for it. He wants to sell it, and I think it's a deal that will probably get done before I leave here tomorrow, so I'm excited about it. Well, I spent 23 years with GE Capital, rose to very senior level management ranks, leadership ranks there, had lots of great experiences, ran global businesses. Most recently, right before I left there in the 2005 time frame, I was running their global healthcare finance. You know, GE Medical sells about $12 billion a year in equipment. Much of that gets financed, over 50% of it. So when you're financing, you know, $6 billion plus of medical equipment every year on a worldwide basis, it keeps you pretty busy. I had left GE in 2005. I joined U.S. Bank. I was one of the top 50 employees at U.S. Bank. You know, they have 55,000 employees. It's primarily domestic. They do have some international operations, but very minimal. So it was a little bit of a different experience, but I had, you know, my balance sheet was a couple $2 billion, and so, you know, for me to do deals in real estate that are residential transactions, you know, several thousand up to several $1 million, it doesn't faze me, because I've done $50 and $100 million single deals in corporate. So I have the financial services background. All of the financial structuring I get, all of the documentation, I understand. I know how to negotiate the documentation. So I'm really confident about those parts of the business. I have a very strong background in business development and in sales. I'm very comfortable calling people. I'm comfortable with cold calls. I'm comfortable dealing with people with all different types of personalities. You know, I've been told no 1,000,000 times in the past, so nobody's going to hurt my feelings if they say no on a deal. I don't take it personally. I just move on, and I think I'll be successful if I stick to the program. I've always been sort of a player coach. While I've managed people, I've always reached down through the ranks to mentor people, because my experience at GE was a very favorable one, and when I was a new employee there, I had very good mentors, and I think I really believe that people that are successful, most of them have good mentors throughout the years, and you know, I'm excited. I think, you know, Todd and I clicked right away. I hope to continue to work with Todd and with Cam's organization, and I just want to get deals done and make things happen, both for buyers and sellers and anybody that can profit along the way. So I'm excited about that. I work for two very classy organizations, two very blue blood, respectful, highly publicized, and very kind of buttoned down organizations in GE Capital and in US Bank. Those are the types of businesses that I was trained at. Those are the types of businesses that I enjoy working for. I think the credibility is there. I think the professionalism is there. The honesty, the integrity, all the things that I value, I find in this program. Without naming names, there are some programs that I've gone through that I think are less than honest with the people. It's more of a production, more of a quote-unquote a show, if you will, than it is really the kind of program that I would like to attach my name to. And this one, from day one, seemed to be very professional, very organized, very professional. The people are the kind of people that I like to work with, and I can't say that about every program that I've been through. Once you've made that decision, once you've made that commitment, jump in. I mean, get in the game. That's the most important thing, sooner rather than later. And in doing so, in my humble opinion, get a mentor. I have always had mentors. At GE, at US Bank, I have multiple mentors through multiple programs in this business, and you know, people tend to react to sticker prices. They get the sticker shock, you know, and I can understand that. However, the money that they will save that potentially could be lost by making a mistake, or the money that they will make at an accelerated pace because they've gone through the mentorship program, it'll offset the initial cost probably in the first deal. And the way that I look at it is simply this: if you can offset the cost of the mentorship program in one deal or two deals, every deal thereafter, it's all upside. It's free. You know, because you learned much faster than you would have had you done it on your own, and all of the mistakes that you normally would make, you're not going to make them because the mentors have probably made them, and they're going to make sure that you avoid them. And so it's just nice to know that when you're going through the process and you're thinking through it and you have a question or a comment or you need some support or whatever, it's always nice to know that you have somebody that you can call on to help you that's been in your shoes before, and is going to make sure that it gets done right, it gets done quickly, that you make money, your interests are aligned, and you're not going to make a mistake. And I'm not sure you can even put a price tag on that. Because you make a mistake in this business, you could be out, especially if you make a deal in the first deal. So I highly recommend, I'm a big fan of mentorship, and it's worked for me, and I think it's the way to go.